Hello, I'm Tori, the Dungeon Mom for the Campus Chronicles D&D campaign, and we are going to be starting off our one-on-one mini sessions with each of the characters in the party. Today, I am here with Boris, who plays Marek, Velair,
That'll
and we are going to get into a little bit of fun information and things about what has happened in part 1 of the campaign before Mark joined the party. Boris, if you can please introduce Marek, who he is, name, race, class, pronouns, and then feel free to be as detailed as you like.
Okay, sounds good. Well, hi guys, my name is Boris. I play an elf sorcerer named Marek Velair. So Marek is the third-born son of a renowned family that's originating on Aerith, Andorra. His parents discovered his aptitude for the arcane arts, so he became this kind of clockwork sorcerer, but also lives a second life as a section agent, which is kind of an organization that wields a lot of power in the modern world.
All right, thank you. And as far as section goes, this isn't something too much that the party officially knows about yet. So we are filming this in March 12th, right after session 4 part 2. Well, campaign part 2 session 4 has happened. So we will be getting into this mini series and kind of exploring a little bit more about what has happened. For context, the party at the moment, present time, is currently at the 26th of Elate. We're going to go back in time to the previous month. So this is almost like a month and a half, 2 months prior to the 6th of Eliasis. Are you ready to get into it?
I'll try my best.
All right. Mark, you have recently moved into your dorm in the College of the Arcane at the University of Andorra. You have fully customized your dorm, packed and moved all of your things, fully set up everything, and have already navigated and found all of your classes, as you like to be very well prepared and punctual. During this time, you've gotten to know the University of Andorra campus, have been given a tour for new sophomores. This is more of a private tour, as there are not that many new transferring sophomores at this time. So you were given a short tour by your RA, Emma Starcraft. She explained kind of the ins and the outs of the campus, best places and times to get food and study and things like that. So this is why you were already very familiar with the Tempest Library in the academic building, as well as the best food in the dining hall to eat. You also have a separate side of regular college life that most students do not have. Due to being a section agent, you have been assigned to work with a mentor, a higher up agent named Derek Chavaris, who is also a detective for the Evermore Police Department. Occasionally, Derek will come to campus and have meetings in the administration building. You have met him here a couple times, maybe once since you first moved in. And over the summer, you have met with him downtown somewhere, very inconspicuous, perhaps meeting to get coffee somewhere. So you have gotten to know him as well, as participated on some training missions with him. You know very much how to work with him in the field, certain preferences that he has, and how he likes to be addressed. He absolutely detests being called Derek and prefers all of his I guess anyone who is technically under him in rank to call him either Detective Chavaris while working at the police department or Mr. Chavaris for those who are working in section. Things go by fairly easy. You've mostly been given some things to keep track of while being a student and just making notes about events happening on campus. But then, at 3 in the morning on the 6th of Eliosis, you feel an earthquake that awakes you from your bed. And this is accompanied with an alarm from your phone that goes off perhaps a minute after this occurs. You know that section has specific tracking devices that can help pinpoint locations for earthquakes. Sometimes, more easier than not, if they have informants in specific locations, they can pinpoint these locations faster. Sometimes it can take an hour or so. Sometimes it can take up to a day. So at the moment, you have no information. You've been, you know that the earthquake is close to you, and you are waiting for, tasks to be assigned to you. You know that any sort of earthquake is a big deal for anyone in section, as this is a chance to not only find out why these earthquakes are occurring, but to potentially capture anyone who is involved with this situation. About 30 minutes pass, and you get a alert on your phone from Mr. Chavaris. You have a text message which reads, report to this location, sending coordinates now. And a pin link, a link to a pin location is attached.
Marek jumps out of bed and immediately starts donning some clothing.
Investigating more further into this location, you see that this location is in the Night Forest outside of the University of Andorra, rather close to you. Judging by the distance, it would take you about 20 minutes to walk to this location.
All right. Mark would like to go over some of his abilities and just prepare himself for whatever he's about to encounter.
Okay.
So he would run over any spells that he has in his head. But also, just mentally fortify himself and to just be prepared for any encounter.
All right. As you kind of mentally prepare, you maybe add, or grab whatever you need, any sort of gear or special magical items that you have, and you set off for the Night Forest. As you are making your way into the forest, you see that there are some members of the FBI. And you see that they are carrying students. There's about 6 or so people. And they kind of look to you. And I would say that you were probably given as section some sort of identification badge that reads Environmental Protection Agency. And someone kind of comes up to you and stops, but you see them take and carry I don't know how many students. I think it's possibly 6, if that sounds right.
Wait.
Yes, you see them. You see 6 FBI agents approach you. 4 run past. 5 run past. You see that they're each carrying 1 student, and the FBI agent who is not carrying anything looks to you. You recognize this person that works very closely with Derek Chavaris. This is Detective Rodan. And he comes up to you. You recognize each other. Derek has pointed him out to you before.
Marek, Velair, right?
Detective Rodon.
Rodan.
My bad. People get my name wrong all the time, too.
Oh, I do apologize if I have messed it up at one point before. Apologies, it's rather late. Has anyone told you of the situation?
I've only received a pin here by Detective Chavaris.
Good. We're going to need all the help we need. 5 students were found unconscious in the forest. Detective Chavaris is deep within the forest. The earthquake that occurred was giving some odd readings. EPA is on site to monitor and contain. I trust that Detective Chavaris shared this information with you, knowing that you can help.
Of course, in whatever way I can. But I need to get over to him.
Of course. I apologize for taking up any more of your time. I have other matters to see to as well. There were some
Understood.
students that were found. I'm sure Detective Chavaris can explain more of this situation to you.
All right. Well, you do your job, I'll do mine.
And he heads off with the rest of the group. One thing that you know is that Detective Rodan is somewhat involved in section, but not fully given clearance. He assists on the more police detective side rather than being fully involved. So he is given some information on basic detective things and police duties, but does not know the full goings on of section itself.
Okay.
I don't think Detective Rodan would know about the shadow portal, just that something has happened and that the portal was already blocked off and hidden from view before anyone else arrived. I would say section would conceal that first, and Detective Rodan would not know about exactly what's going on. So I
Okay.
do take that
So,
back.
would you say Rodan is like an informant through Chavaris, or is this like a separate connection?
Detective Rodan definitely works with Detective Chavaris in the police department, but he is one of the, I guess, he's not as good in terms of his duties and his work.
Okay.
Many different people are given a test to pass for being inducted into section. If they do not pass, then they do not remember the test. It's removed from their memory. So it is possible that Detective Rodan was given a test at some point and failed. But at some point, maybe he showed some sort of promise, so they decided to have him assist on some things without knowing what's fully going on. Many people in the police department just know that a lot of the times when there is an earthquake, the Environmental Protection Agency are there to report, contain, and document anything that could be happening. So some people know of what's going on. Others are just taking various readings and documenting information and sending it off to someone higher up. You would also have, obviously, higher clearance into the Environmental Protection Agency than Detective Rodan as well.
All right.
As you head deeper into the Night Forest, you find Detective Shavaris, you do see some FBI agents going around and taking readings with various different equipment. You do have access to specialized equipment that helps track a similar energy from the Shadowfell. This is privy to special section agents. As you arrive, Detective Shavaris is holding one and hands it to you as you approach.
What's this for?
To monitor if any creatures have escaped before we arrived. Thank you for coming so quickly.
Of course.
We have most of the area contained at the moment. The only humanoids we were able to find was some students that were lying as the blast occurred. Or after the blast occurred, we're not exactly sure what happened.
Do you know if they've been searched? Inspected? They could carry a trace of Shadowfell on them.
They did not have any energy similar to what we find with people who have been in the Shadowfell. However, one of the students did have an odd reading of something else.
Huh. Well, I hope we follow up on that. What should I do here?
We are having some equipment teleported in. One moment, please.
And you see him go and kind of talk to some other agents. He quickly jots some things down, calls someone on the phone, and hangs up. And shortly after, you see these large concrete walls suddenly appear. You know that Derek likes to be very much clean shaven, but you sense that he did not have ample time to prepare today, as he almost jumped out of his bed as quickly as you did. A little disheveled, not necessarily wearing a button-down shirt, but is wearing something slightly more casual, a sweater and some jeans, which is something you've never seen from this man before. As they teleport in these walls, you see them hover and form a sort of octagon-like tower, 20 feet tall. And as quickly as they are in place and ready to go, more and more equipment start teleporting in.
We are getting the base set up. The portal is in the middle. Once everything is set up inside, I'm going to have you work on setting up the equipment and getting correct and proper readings. Some of these FBI agents don't know exactly what we're dealing with, but I know you do.
Understood. So we're still keeping it on the down low with them?
They know that we've been receiving an alarm of some sort of radioactive reading that we are monitoring for anything that could potentially put the school in danger. At the moment, the site is clear of any creatures that could pose a threat, and it appears that nothing escapes. Although, if nothing escaped and someone created this portal, what happened? That is what we need to figure out. We'll talk more inside.
Understood. Marek does like a formal nod.
And he hands you that device and kind of instructs you to go around and take more readings along with the other FBI agents. You kind of go around and do this for a while. 30 minutes or so pass by. And as you head back, you see that the tower now has a roof and a floor on the inside, and a door is set up. Derek is continuously on the phone, dealing with different things. And you see that equipment is teleported outside and being carried in. And he kind of waves you over to come back.
Immediately. Gun for it.
It's now 4 a.m. And we are going to head into roll 20.
Ooh. This looks fair.
Welcome to the tower. You have in a base similar to this. Most of them are constructed in the same way for ease of teleporting in precise equipment that has the right measurements to quickly assemble anything that could be needed in times like these. As you enter in, you see that there is the security panel on your left. This controls audio and visual footage of the outside areas. You know that this first door on the first floor, let me make sure you have access to your character, you do, is a level 2 clearance access. This is all that has been put in. You know that as you he leads you inside, and this is the only thing that has been built so far. There is a deep sort of 10-foot deep hole that has been dug, and in the center of this hole is a pedestal with the Shadow Fell portal directly on top of it. You see more people kind of carry in equipment that they're now starting to set up over here on the sides. They're now working on securing these catwalks. You also see them carry in large tanks, large kind of like barrels of fluid. They're going back and forth, just dumping in into this pit, sort of the fluid. You see that that there were this pit is like 10 foot deep. But it was a hole, but it is covered completely with some sort of quick cement. So they're able to quickly fashion some sort of system. This area is particularly built to protect any Shadowfell creatures that happen to escape. As you know, they're very tricky, but this specific metal is a alloy that shadow creatures do not like. And the water beneath it is made from a liquid that makes them feel some sort of pain if they come into contact with it.
Alright, based off your training, you should be familiar with this area. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I was over here and ordered to set some equipment up. Is there anything else you need help with?
There are several things that we need you to do. For starters, if you can start setting up the software panels over here on this bench, and then continue on over here. We're going to need these two set up so that if we go into the Shadowfell and bring back anyone, or if anyone becomes marked with the life rot, at least our base is set up. We need full systems analysis up and running before we have anyone going in.
You got it. Mark turns. Oh,
It's strange.
He leads you like fully inside here, so he's kind of just pointing out the things that he wants you to do.
Right, okay. So, for the shadow portal, is there anything encasing it other than this huge tower, or is it just completely, open? Like, I could reach out and touch it.
Is that to me or to Derek specifically? Sorry.
I'll ask Derek.
Okay.
At the moment, it is open. It's not exactly contained. We are waiting on the containment tube, which should be arriving shortly. Don't have the right people tonight at this time. There are several people who do know the full operations and procedures, but they are out sick.
Oh, right. Yeah, I can see this. This kind of happened all of a sudden.
However, no matter, we are making the best. Here's the containment tube.
And you see someone walk in with this large glass thing just kind of like floating as they have their wand out, hovering it. And they lift it up and set it over the Shadowfell portal. The portal itself is about 4 feet tall and 2 feet wide. Almost like a rift was torn in space and time, fully black, inky black. And this tube you see is just kind of connected up further into the ceiling so that it has it's like sheathed, so the glass portion can be raised and lowered. All of this equipment is for the most part rebuilt, but just needs to be assembled so that these I guess satellite bases can be set up with ease.
Right, so at least things are contained for the moment, but that equipment and software needs to be set up. I did have an odd reading a couple days ago on the 3rd. Seemed like a failed attempt. We had readings that something happened, but no official earthquake. So I don't know if something happened or did not happen. We did not find any evidence of Shadowfell portal. But perhaps this time they were successful, whoever they are. We want to send a team inside to make sure the other side is secure.
Well, I've never heard of a glitch in one of our systems, but it could happen. I really hope it's not an attack, because if we missed it, that can't be good.
Either something happened and we missed it, or perhaps their attempt failed. We'll know more when we send agents on the inside. At the moment, it's just me and you. I'm hoping that another agent can arrive shortly, and perhaps the 3 of us can go inside.
Got it. How long do
that
survivors
something-
last on the other side?
We don't know. It's not something that we have a lot of reports on. Not much research has been done about surviving on the other side. We have brought pieces of the Shadowfell to us to study, but this is different.
Yeah, it's not the same as being on the other side of this thing.
Alright, so I'll start working on those software procedures. We'll alert you when the other agents arrive. I expect Mr. Foxglove and President Amador will be here shortly. We were also alerted to the incident.
Mark nods and immediately starts getting to work on the software.
All right, he kind of nods and he heads out. You see that he's continuing to, I guess, direct different agents on what they're supposed to be doing and setting up. More and more of these barrels of fluid is poured in and poured in and poured in. It takes a very long time as you start working for the next hour, getting this the software up and running. For the most part, it's fairly easy to set up, but it requires high-level clearance in order to operate. You at the moment have a level 2 clearance. You know that Derek Chavaris has level 3. But most of the people that are moving things in and out have like a level 1 clearance or have no clearance. Those are the ones on the outside that don't know anything that goes on.
Okay.
In the next hour, you see President Amadora arrive along with Mr. Foxglove, whom you know is one of the other agents that is stationed at University of Andorra. They both recognize you and shake your hand, asking about an update on the software, which you kind of explain everything that you've done and set up in the past hour. The fluid is now full, and you see that some of the agents have been bringing in these tanks that you see at least on the map at the moment. There were some sort of platforms on the bottom that they are able to raise and lower. They are each raised, and a sort of Bacta tank is secured to them, and they are all resting at the bottom, waiting to be active if needed. You're familiar with these tanks. They're similar to a combination of various things. They have very low temperature, which kind of regulates the vitals and keep things stable and slow. They are also filled with nutrients that could preserve any sort of creature inside. President Amadora, as you know, has level 4 clearance. She kind of takes point and mans the software, getting things up and running, taking over completely the things that you weren't able to do, but you worked quite well to set everything up. And Derek kind of approaches you, and Mr. Foxglove as well.
Alright. I think we are up and running. What do you think, Mrs. Amadora?
Seems that everything is in order. I think that our young recruit is doing quite well. Very notable from the Velair family.
Well, I did the best that I could do.
He has been trained well. All right. Derek, we are ready when you are.
Marek, are you ready?
Of course.
Now this will be your first venture into the Shadowfall. It's not something that I've wanted you to experience so soon, but with the lack of support and agents out sick, it's something that we need you to do. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be, Detective.
Clear the area. All right, are you ready? Raising the protective shields. And you see that President Amadora is kind of working on the system. And the protective shield raises, revealing the Shadowfell portal once more. Derek approaches, looks to you and Mr. Foxglove and kind of just nods and steps through the portal.
All right. Marek rears up, takes a deep breath, releases, and firmly steps into the portal.
You see this sort of metallic stone structure around you just kind of fade. The blueness of the fluid below you turn dark as you land. You feel a little bit queasy, a little nauseous, as this is your first time traveling across plains. It's kind of hard to catch your breath for a second, but then as you look around, your surroundings are very, very different.
Whoa. Ugh.
The sky, although you know it is nighttime or very, very early morning, there's sort of a dark fog in the air. It's harder to see, farther to see at least. There is a haze, a dark haze around. You were once in the forest before, but now you're around more dead-like trees. You sense a darkness around you. The floor, yes, filled with dirt, but looks more black than brown, if that's even possible. With your elf eyes, you do have dark vision, so this is easy for you to see. But as you arrive, you sense that this area is very, not just different than the normal forest, but it is everything that has been described to you during training.
So similar but otherworldly. Mark's eyes scan to look for any of the other agents.
One moment. Let's wait for Mr. Foxglove to come through as well before we head off.
And you see him arrive and kind of step behind you. And he holds a hand up to his lips as a shushing noise. He pulls out a sort of device and scans the area.
Mind.
I'm going to need you to give me a perception check, please. All right. Perception check of an 18. You see quite a lot. What you sense is something that Mr. Foxglove is also picking up on. You see him raise that hand to his lips, and he starts following the device over to the left. He's leading the group, and as you follow, you are sensing some sort of creature off in the distance. And you see a light, very, very faintly. You continue on deeper into this dark forest. The fog kind of closing in around you as it's revealing more and more as you continue forward. Mr. Shavaris pulling up the back as you continue deeper and deeper. About 10 minutes pass, and you see the light growing brighter and brighter, and as you come closer, this light is a fire that has been built supposedly for warmth, but no. As you continue, it's not a fire that has been built. What you see is a person. This is a fire from a fire genasi's mohawk. You see a person that is currently in a fetal position, sitting in the middle of a clearing. But around them, you see something special. Not something that is very common. You see around this individual a sort of aura. 60 feet around it. As you approach, you can now... Wait, hang on.
Am I good? Am
Ah.
I...
Yes. As
Okay.
you... Yeah, sorry.
Very good.
Because you see a specific spell. I'm just trying to figure out if you can see it. Okay. So I will say that you do see this spell. You see Mr. Foxglove kind of pause at the edge of it. And you see Mr. Shavaris enter it.
It's a hollow spell. Very rare. Requires a lot of power. Someone was here. But how did this person get here?
He kind of says right before he enters the kind of like the barrier of the spell.
Marek would wait a minute, or wait a second, and see if Shavaris is reacting differently. Or this is Foxglove.
This
Right.
is Detective Shavaris.
Oh,
As
okay.
he enters in the hollow spell. Marek may know a little bit about the hollow spell. You know that it's kind of a protection kind of barrier that keeps celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead out of the area. They can't enter. And that this individual is seeming to be protected by this spell.
Hello? Can you hear me? Excuse me, are you okay?
He approaches the body very cautiously. And as he approaches further and further inside, closing that 60-foot gap, he puts a hand on the body, and it does not move. You see Derek wave you over. Mr. Foxglove kind of points to you to go inside.
Marek nods and starts stepping through the barrier.
And nothing happens as you step through, but as you approach, you see Mr. Shavaris kind of checking over this person. And as you get closer and closer, you see that this is someone around your age.
You must have been here a while.
Another student, perhaps?
Could be, although I don't know how they got here. I think he's in shock. He's not responding to anything.
A pulse? Nothing?
He's responsible. His pulse, there is a pulse. His heartbeat is low, but he is alive. I'm going to carry him back. You keep point. I will have Mr. Foxglove lead the way, but I need you to watch my back.
Got it.
Can you do that?
I mean, this barrier has been put down for a reason.
Once we leave it, it will not matter. We must go quickly before any shadow creatures can sense us.
Understood. Mark just kind of takes his position in the back.
Beneath you.
I'm gonna need you to give me a stealth check, please.
$14.
All right. You get a bonus as Mr. Foxglove casts Pass Without a Trace, which I believe is like a plus 10. So it's a total of 24. You guys sneak back to the portal, and with your 18, you notice some shadow creatures, but they are way off in the distance. As you are leaving, you continue forward, and you sense that there is something over there. You hear something.
Mark makes a minor noise. Something. Mark darts his eyes towards the direction.
We ignore it. Getting this person to safety is priority. Perhaps he can tell us more if we are able to revive him.
We best get a move on then.
He nods, and you continue back.
Mark kind of takes the other arm of the Ganassi to try to move him faster.
You make it back to the portal and step through. Mr. Foxglove taking up the back as you and Detective Shavaris kind of step through together with the student. You make it back to the tower. President Amadora, kind of noting that you all arrive, quickly closes the protective shield as you step out of the way.
Quickly, we're going to need a back to tank. Mrs. Amadora?
I'm sorry, I'm just in shock. It seems I know this student. He is actually I'm sorry, I know his mother. She will not be pleased.
No matter. We must get her. We must prepare and make sure that he is fully covered. Do we have any other agents available?
It's just us. We do have some skin suits in the closet, if you can grab one. Marek, there, in the corner. She kind of points out. Each of these little containers have various materials in them. She asks you to get a skin suit together. And
Mark.
an electrode set.
Mark, of course, knowing what an electro set is, would grab the skin suit and electro set and prepare it.
Electrode. Like measuring wires and things. It's just a set of
Oh.
wires. So that she asks you to get. Everything's kind of set up. One per set. And she asks you to you and Detective Shavaris to quickly change him out of his clothes and put the suit on. This suit has specific ports that the wires connect to. As you do this, underwear stays on and it's fine, but it's mostly like the outside like clothing that needs to come off. You see Mr. Foxglove go to the other area as the president's over here, and he goes over here and starts entering in information.
One leg in, the other.
Right.
All right, shimmying up.
You
arms.
see one of the platforms, this one that's yellow, it's activated and it raises up. The lid opens, and you and Detective Shavaris kind of lift the student inside.
This is subject 3785. Going in.
Mark lets out a little bit of a grunt as he tries to slowly lower the body.
Subject is Blaze Zambini, but we will keep this information for higher clearance only. Please, Mr. Foxglove, if you can put a note in that cane. He kind of nods, and you see him make quick work of this kind of interface that he is working on. The lid closes as Detective Shavaris kind of finishes hooking up the wires from the machine with the electrode set that you gave him, connecting everything and making sure he's ready to go. And the platform lowers back into the ground.
Vitals are okay. It does detect presence of life rot, but it is very early. As long as he stays in this chamber, he has a good chance of surviving.
Good, good. This is what we want to hear. All right. We need a full investigation on how this happened, especially at the school. It's one of the worst places that it could have occurred. Marek, are you making friends with any of the students?
Well, yes, I've made some connections, but nothing information savvy yet.
All right, then I'll bring Rain into this. If you don't know, this is Rain's boyfriend, actually. You've met Rain, I believe.
Oh, yes, I've met Rain.
I think that they did summer training together, madam.
Right. This is one of the things Rain excels at. Social interactions and finding information. Rather good at the gossip side. So hopefully this will help out quite a bit.
Well, what is Rain to know of all this?
If she is his girlfriend, then perhaps she knows some information about why he was in the Shadowfell, or at least his location in the material plane must have been in the forest, right?
That is correct. We found him like 1,000 feet from our portal, so it seemed that whoever made the attempt on the portal the first time 2 days ago, it could have been a similar try, although this time they were successful. We can check the energy levels and see if this is the same as the energy levels from where his body was found. I have the location saved onto my data set, so we should be able to find it and collect information. Hopefully we can get more agents out there. But perhaps it would be better if we all get some sleep first.
That'll be great. And maybe I can make some contact with Rain later and try to get to the bottom of this.
No. I will have Rain work on this alone, I think might be better.
Mark
But thank
nods.
you for your help. I have another idea for you to help, actually. You are a little bit better intelligence-wise, I do believe, placing higher and scoring higher than Rain. For this reason, I think it would be better to have you monitor the Shadowfell energy levels from the portal. Do some research and analysis on that.
Okay.
How
I'll make
about
sure to
you
get to that.
go and get some sleep? Some much needed sleep, I'm sure. And I appreciate you getting up so early to help us with this. Reconvene
course.
with Derek at 3 p.m.
Will do. Mark takes a look at Derek before heading off and does a curt nod.
All right, you go and you get some much needed sleep. As you come back at 3 p.m., he kind of gives you an update a little bit. Very quickly. He explains that the students that were found at the shadow portal are 5 different students, and he tells you their names. I guess first and last is Elzina, Nativ,
All right.
Mortar, Yamato, which you instantly recognize, Gale,
Right.
Whisperwind, Riki, Shimmer, and Luna Williams. They were all brought to the Student Health Center for monitoring. You also, actually, I forgot, it's not 5 students, it's 6. Is also on that report is Bismuth Radley. Now, the 2 that you are very familiar with is Mortar and Bismuth. You know that Bismuth is, for some reason, very important to Section, and that Mortar, the son of Mr. Yamato, will soon be given a test to see if he is going to be, to see if he passes to be invited into Section. Growing up, you knew a bit about Section because of your familial relationships, but not the ins and outs and all the details. It was just very, very surface level information.
Okay.
And so you know that Mortar will soon go through the same experience that you went through.
Yeah, if he passes.
If possible, I need you to get closer with Bismuth, Bradley. I do believe that we were able to adjust your schedule to get into the same class as him, or something you both share.
Would you like me to report on it, Detective?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it's History of Scrying.
History of Scrying. Oh, I know where that is. I'll make sure to do that.
Classes start on Monday. Today is Saturday. So do your best to make a good connection with him. We have adjusted one situation. He is a psychic like yourself. However, his abilities are rather rare. He's been given a ring, which can help not just control the symptoms and issues he has been having, but it also allows us to keep a little bit more closer tabs on him. Any information that we will ask him to share with us, he will not be able to tell anyone that. And if anyone tries to get involved with the police side of things, he is to protect them from doing so and convince them not to. And also, do not modify his memory or restore his memory in any way, except for us. This is of the utmost importance. We need to understand what this group of students were doing by the portal, we could be involved in some way.
Is there anything I need to know in order to prepare Bismuth for any questioning?
No, we'll take care of that. I think if your relationship is more organic and unseemingly, it may help our situation even further.
I'll make sure to prioritize that.
Because those students were just here about a half hour ago. He came back
Those-
to the forest.
That could mean trouble. Maybe they're getting their noses stuck into this.
Exactly. And that's why I need you to be doing a deep investigation on your side as well. Rain will keep in contact with the others, but your primary focus is business. Alright, that is all for today.
Mark stands there for a moment, just thinking about the mission that he's been given, and then kind of stutters out of it. Yes, Detective Shavarin, will do. And, strides out of the tower.
All right. Late the next day, a whole day goes by. You enjoy the rest of your Saturday kind of catching up on sleep, kind of preparing different things, maybe doing some background research on Bismuth Radley on social media. And the next day at midnight, Sunday midnight, by the way, I know Mark probably likes to go to bed early. You get the same alarm as you did when the earthquake happened, although this time you do not feel an earthquake. But the alarm from your phone is a text from Detective Shavaris. Report to the tower immediately. It says.
Mark immediately gets his gear together and makes for the tower, getting prepared for the 20-minute walk.
He asks you to dress in all black and kind of have a hood, and to make sure that your head is covered as well.
Marek has a box in his closet, his wardrobe, and it's hidden behind, it's hidden in a faux potted plant, and he takes
Okay.
out his uniform and gear.
I love that, honestly. As you dress and get ready and head to the Night Forest, you see President Amadora and Mr. Shavaris ahead of you. You kind of run to catch up to them, and they're in a brisk jog as they are running.
We had an alarm. We came as soon as we could. Some of the agents that were guarding the tower were found unconscious.
Not injured?
Oh no, they are injured. Believe me. Some guards went from the second shift to relieve them. They were found unconscious outside.
So we don't know how long ago this happened.
No, we don't. Not until we get to the tower, we'll find out more information. Come on.
Good to see you again, Marek.
You as well, President
Hopefully next
Amadora.
time, under better circumstances. Appreciate your initiative. Keep that in mind.
Thank you, President.
You arrive at the tower and they scan you in. Detective Rodan's kind of on the outside surveilling the area. Quickly speaks to Derek and heads off. As you head inside, Mr. Foxglove is there.
And the report. Have you found anything?
It appears that someone came in and they have taken subject 3785, the student.
And any other information?
This happened recently, within an hour or so. But we
Mark
don't
pipes in.
have a lot of information, unfortunately.
Mark pipes in. What about the video feed?
I checked. It has been erased.
Mark's just trying to envision what kind of people did this. Are they highly trained? They knew to, destroy the video feed and get in here?
Either they were highly trained, or they were a bunch of idiots. This machine was meant to save him, and now he could die. We don't even know how or where or when, what his condition is. Do you know anything about his condition before he was removed?
It does say he was removed approximately 40 to 50 minutes ago. His condition appeared fine at the moment, but there is no telling what could happen since. One thing that we did find was someone was signed in. Charles Green. Ma'am, and this is not the first time that he has been found in the wrong place in the wrong time, and we don't know if it was him, but something is going on, and he keeps getting into trouble or leaving things where he should not. I think we need to reevaluate his position in section.
I rather agree. He was at Astria and the same thing happened. Conversation for another time. All right. Let's see. We'll investigate. Marek, if you could, just work with Mr. Foxglove on the machines for a while. Derek and I will investigate upstairs. Yes, since you have been gone, we do have an upstairs. It's the research lab.
Okay, but I heard you say Charles Green. Green, is that Professor Green?
Yes, Professor Green, who was teaching at Astria College, was now here, was about to teach Collegiate Common 1B, and is no longer teaching that class. I do believe that was something that you were taking, so you will be receiving a replacement sometime soon.
Okay. And Mark heads upstairs. Farewell, he says on his way up.
All right, and you just kind of assist with Mr. Foxglove on various things. Just making sure that the machines are good. He explains that the protective shield for the portal was found open as well. So you immediately close that and run some just diagnostics and see what happened. You and Mr. Foxglove managed to find a broken droid upstairs. After working together for several hours, you managed to recover the video feed. And you see the students that you recognized being carried out of the forest a couple nights before. Mr. Foxglove IDs them as the people who were found outside of the portal as well. So you know that you were all in the right place. The people on the security footage are Elzina, Nativ, Gale, Whisperwind, Riki, Shimmer, and a new face. New to this group, but not new to you. For the first time in a while, you see Isla Omari, the student who blew up the potions lab and was expelled from Astria College with you. I mean, you were not expelled, but she was expelled because of the situation.
Right, and I yielded my family's name, and my parents pushed to have me not expelled.
Mr. Foxglove looks to you as you're watching the video footage.
Do you recognize any of them?
Yes, that one. Isla Omari. I share classes and a study hall with her.
Sorry, I just wanted to bring you to the research lab. I'm gonna quickly drag you here so you kind of get an idea of what the space is. It's a bit trashed, things thrown around. But you find this droid. It's kind of over here, lying on the ground, just broken pieces. Visually, if you remember, the droid that you fought in the one shot that we did, the potions one shot, it's
Yeah.
the same model. Which, after seeing that footage and seeing, oh, I don't have it here, and seeing it's not here. After seeing the video footage from Astria College, after rethinking about everything, and seeing this, you kind of put two and two together that these droids are very much used in section.
Isla Omori. That name sounds rather familiar.
Mark takes a look around the research center and thinks to himself, and then says it. Well, we should take log of anything that could be missing. Surely there's some information about what was teleported over here, and we can just cross-check that with whatever's left.
I'll check if any of the computers have been accessed. But if you recognize Isla Omori, and if you could, try to get close to her. I will
right.
tell Detective Tavares about this as well, but I think it would be in our best interest if you could somehow interloop with this group and gain their trust.
Well,
Just to find out if they're causing this out of danger or evil. But it is about the safety of the whole university and everyone in this country that we get to the bottom of this. This is the closest we have ever gotten.
well, I'm surprised Isla's wrapped up in all of this. I'll need to make sure to check it out with her. See how she's come a part of this.
It could be that they are scapegoats or decoys, we don't know. But if you could potentially stay close and keep us in the loop, that would be helpful.
And that's where we're going to end today's mini session.
Woo!